This is PlanetMosh.com. I'm live here on the last day of Download Festival 2015. I'm very, very happy to be joined by Igor Cavalera from the Cavalera Conspiracy. How are we?
Good, man. It's a great day. You know, I mean, it's the last day of the festival. We're ready to finish things in the right way.
And though there is no rain, that's always a good start considering what we've had over the last couple of days.
Well, you can't really, the weather. I mean, it's sunny. So we gotta enjoy while it lasts, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now you've played, I think this is your second Download appearance as Cavalera Conspiracy. Last time you played, you were headlining one of the smaller stages, I think. I think you were playing actually in a tent that day in 2008. So. Yeah. Now you're playing open air. I mean, do you have a preference as to playing open air or inside in an intimate venue, or is it too different to compare?
In a festival, no.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like a tent or main stage, it's always like, it's really cool, but it has pretty much the same vibe. If you talk going to a club, then it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Than being outside or a tent. So I like it both. I think you need to do both. You know, like it's cool to play, of course, like an intimate set where people really. I think if you balance the two of them, that makes you really happy. If you just do big festivals, big stage, it's amazing, but I also miss a lot of the underground feel to it.
Yeah.
So I think a mixture is always the best way to do it.
How different are the fans in England compared to maybe the fans in Brazil, Latin America, South America?
I don't know. It's hard because usually metal fans they are like very loyal. They really know what they're getting, and it's like so. Of course, if you play certain places, it's gonna be more. They might be more excited or they act different. But in general, I have to say it's pretty similar all over the world. Like the metal fans, they kind of like connect somehow.
Okay. Now you've been a band for the last 7 or 8 years now. You formed in 2007. How? Because obviously you've got other different projects going on around the outside. Obviously Max goes off and does Soulfly every now and then, and you've got your own things. How easy is it to come back after a period of break and be Cavalera Conspiracy again?
It's really cool because it's quite refreshing for us to. Because I think also when you do certain things for too long, it gets to be a bit mechanical in a way.
Yeah.
So to do Cavalera and jump back from different projects, it always keeps like this feeling of like a fresh start.
Yeah.
Instead of like just when you're done from a touring, you just might be sitting at home waiting for the next gig. Where when we're done with the tour with Cavalera, Max just jumps right back into something. I do something else. So it kind of like keeps it very special also.
Keeps you on your toes as well, I imagine, a bit, because you're always bouncing about from place to place.
Exactly, yeah.
Pandemonium is your latest album, which you released last year. How different was it from recording or writing from the other things that you've done with Cavalera?
It was actually the same.
Completely the same?
Completely the same, and it just reflects exactly where me and Max were at the time. But the whole conceptual side on how we recorded, how we wrote it, it was completely the same as the first 2 records.
Yeah.
Where we just go in the studio with a bunch of ideas, worked on it, and we're done with it. So it's quite different than anything we've done in the past.
Yeah.
It's very fast, where we don't really rehearse. We just go with fresh ideas, and then put them down, and then work on it for a bit, and we're done with it.
Yeah. Did you do anything differently with your drumming this time around?
I always do it. I always set up my drums different and do certain things to it, so it makes me almost like I have to learn again how to play in a different situation.
Okay. Who are your biggest influences drumming-wise growing up?
Bill Ward, from Black Sabbath. For me, he's the man still to this day. And when I first saw him play, I was like, this is it, because it's such a cool mixture of like power, technique, and all that stuff. I think a lot of people praise John Bonham, Zeppelin, and that's right, but I think Bill Ward is very underrated.
Okay.
If you examine his drumming it's insane. It's like it's crazy.
Okay.
For any drummer, it's like he's the man.
Yeah. So after you've done Download today, what's the plan for like the rest of 2015?
We still have a lot of touring to do with Cavalera.
Yeah.
Still more festivals to do, and then we take a little break where we go again back into our other projects. But this whole year is pretty much going back and forth. So, and then me and Max were already talking about doing an EP, maybe towards the end of the year. Like just going into the studio, doing something really, really fast, like 3-4 songs, and release it. So that's kind of like in the process of.
Now, being from Brazil and knowing how much you love your sport over there, I understand you're a massive, massive football fan.
Yeah.
Is that correct? How do you feel, just in general, because obviously we saw all the coverage about maybe the problems that Brazil had having the World Cup last year. I mean, how do you feel, team performance aside, that it went for the country in general, the World Cup?
It's crazy because it was very negative, of course.
Yeah.
But it was very positive in the sense that people stood up in Brazil and they were really not happy with a lot of the things that were done for the World Cup. And now we're kind of like seeing the tip of the iceberg with the whole FIFA thing.
Yeah. How
they work, and it's like people were already in Brazil, they already kind of like predicting what was about to happen. They're like, this is bullshit. There's so much money being thrown everywhere. Like every stadium they built there, they overpriced by like millions, and someone is just walking away with all this money. So it was cool to see that the people were the first one to spot what was wrong, and it's kind of like I'm very proud of that, because for many years in Europe or other places, those things just happen and nobody say anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see. Football-wise, of course, it was a disaster for us, for Brazil. To have that kind of ending, for for whatever the run we had. But I also had to say they deserved it. It was not a team that I didn't feel really confident about the team, and still today I'm not into it. The way they play and some of the players, their attitude and the coach. So I'm not happy with Brazil now. I thought it was going to change after such a drastic result, but still shit there.
If you could pick any footballer to be in a mosh pit, who would you pick?
Man, I don't know. Someone that I think would fit a mosh pit would be someone like Rooney.
Nice.
Because he's built, you know what I mean? Like Neymar would get killed in 2 seconds. Believe me, Neymar or Oscar, any of those skinny guys, they would get crushed. So Rooney would be the one that I could see in a mosh pit surviving this shit.
David Luiz?
Nah, man, David Luiz he has the hair. Doesn't have the power, man, to be there.
So, one final question for you. Pick a number between 1 and 10, and I'll give you your final question.
All right, 7.
7. Name one musician you'd bring back from the dead.
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I already spoke about him. Maybe John Bonham from Zeppelin, because he's such an inspirational guy. I would love to see what he'll be doing today.
Yeah.
So I would say John Bonham.
That's really cool. Yeah. Igor, thank you very much. You've been an absolute pleasure.